3, 2, 1.
And the music is over. Hi, everybody.
Hello. It's been a little minute.
It's been a few weeks. The last episode came out on the 24th.
Oopsies. I don't
17th
really
December.
know what happened.
Life just happened.
Life just happened.
Away. But we're here. We're back, and we're gonna talk about some of the juiciest parts of this ding dang video game today.
I would say this is one of my favorite days. I would argue.
I think this is my favorite day. Like, everything about this day is like good and fun
Just
and
exciting
scary
and stuff.
Yes.
It's a good day. So we're doing Seattle Day 3 with Abby. Abby wakes on up, gets on out of the bed that she's laying in. Oh, you call it a bed, sleeping bag on the ground. Yara and Lev are yelling at each other, but guess what? Yara's okay from the surgery, which is fantastic, which I think we might have already known, but I'm not sure.
Which is wild that she's just like up and walking like the day after. Like probably a super medieval style surgery of an amputation.
I cannot imagine. There are no painkillers. No, I don't like what. A lot of questions there.
Yeah, but they're upset.
They're upset. They're yelling at each other. You hear Santa Barbara thrown around. You hear leave Seattle. You hear mom. You hear she doesn't like you anymore. Just yelling back and forth. Basically, Yara's like, we should just go to Santa Barbara with these white folks. They seem nice. They're not going to try and kill you like our own mother's going to. And Lev's like, you're being silly. Mom's not going to do that. And then he runs off, kind of.
Yes, very, very upset.
And as you're going towards them, you run into Mel as Abby. And Mel's upset with you.
For just being alive. For just being there.
Just being there. Mel starts laying it into Abby, basically saying like, hey, I don't believe you that you've like suddenly changed heart in 3 days. Like the Wolves' top like scar killer is now like the foster parent to these two kids. Like, yeah, right. Like Owen might be falling for it, but I'm not, because she thinks it's just a ploy for Abby to get back Owen, which I don't think it is. I don't really think it is.
Absolutely. Like, it's just like both Mel and Owen are just like the most delusional fucking characters.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, you think he's that hot?
Yeah, you think he's that fucking great?
That does remind me, there was like a poll going around on like, this is like deep The Last of Us Twitter like fans. They were doing like polls of like hottest Naughty Dog characters of like for men, hottest women Naughty Dog characters. And they were like rolling it out, and Owen got like really high, but they were like getting really like Owen got high, but guess who got higher than Owen was Abby's dad. Like he got like second, and like Nathan Drake got like fourth.
That doesn't make. I would put fucking wrong. Nathan Drake's brother above fucking Owen from Uncharted 4. I would put fucking.
But the doctor, not even Owen, but like people were just like, "Are you kidding me? Like he's gonna get first." Jesse got first. Shout out to him.
I'll totally I'll give it to Jesse and Manny, baby. The hottest boy.
I get them. I put them high. I just have to say though, Nathan Drake is just like of all video game characters.
But also, like, if we're gonna judge like just like average white guy in a video game, like Nathan Drake is way hotter and funnier and cooler, like on every level than Owen could ever be, or Abby's dumb father who couldn't even live.
God, what a loser!
What a loser!
All right, that was a side note. Anyway, y'all go explore Last of Us Twitter. It's wild over there. So yeah, Mel's basically like, well, Abby's like, you haven't talked him out of like going to Santa Barbara, and Mel's like, no, because I'm gonna go to Santa Barbara with him unless you go too, and which is such a like,
it's just like, gosh, it's just like so petty. Like there's just like so much pettiness between like Mel and Abby that like isn't really thoroughly like. I get the gist of it that like Abby was. Like it's just like to me like that was like it's you see that a lot in stories where there's a girl that likes a guy, but there's another girl that likes that guy, and it's like so like the other girl is always like, I hate this girl, like it's just like so like directed at, and when it's just like, why aren't you mad at all at Owen, who's been hiding away in his little boy clubhouse for months, not being there while you're pregnant.
And we talked about this a little bit last episode, but like definitely this dynamic between like Owen, Mel, and Abby is the bad writing in the game. Like I'll admit there's some bad writing in the game, and it's this right here because it's very
I don't care,
juvenile, very like been done before, and if you're gonna do it again, at least do it better. But you didn't, so
definitely. So they blow up.
They blow up. Then
makes Abby feel like shit. Abby's feeling pretty bad. She's crying. Abby's crying.
She's sobbing. She's like on the ground, unable to like get up. And the game just ends, you know?
Yeah. Credits roll. Yara comes up to Abby, and Yara's just like, nah, man. like get up, fool. Like, you're fine.
My brother's missing. So they go, Lev's like real upset and is like hiding in the aquarium. So they go to the gift shop to find him a gift, and you find out he loves sharks, I believe. And that's like a cute moment because I mean it's very like takes you back to like a moment that they obviously like. I mean, like no one goes to gift shops. Like no one probably even gives people like gifts that often. Like I don't know, like how much does that even happen? And you're learning more about like how Yara's really scared that like Lev's gonna go back to Scar Island and there's going to be big trouble. Like their mom is going to be pissed and probably try and kill Lev, and Yara told Lev that and he didn't believe her, and so
you find a shark. It's a little toy shark, and you're like, yes, we did it. And like, is it like, then you go outside and you see Owen on the boat, and you're like talking to Owen, and then you just see like,
like,
goodbye everybody, just like
I was like, Owen, you piece of shit, were you just standing out here? I don't know if like they might have like just all run out there at that time. I don't know, but Abby's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go, like, let's go. And Yara's like, well, I'm gonna go too, like, that's my brother. And Mel's like, no, you just had surgery. And she's like, I literally don't care, like, that's my brother. Like,
and like also like Mel, like I owe you, Mel. Like, yes, thanks for cutting my arm off, saving my life. But beyond that, like you would have killed me 3 days ago. Like I owe you nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
And also, what do you care, Mel, if I leave? Like, like you don't. There are no stakes.
I don't get Mel's motives because I'm like, do you care about these kids? Are you supposed to just be like this really caring, like nice person compared to Abby? But I'm also like, you're kind of
almost like this weird jealousy that like Mel feels, and like, no, I'm the nurse, like I'm
the mother figure.
Yeah,
here.
Like you can't be that, Abby. And it's just like, if you just chill out, Mel, you'll have it. Well, you're gonna die, but like, you know, like you're gonna have a baby, like, and you can take care of that baby. You won't, because you're gonna die.
So yeah, Abby's like, okay, me and Yara will go, like, let's go figure this out. And Owen's like, oh, let me come too, like, you guys definitely need my help, like, I'm gonna come too. And Abby's literally like, sit the fuck down, you stupid asshole, like, you're the only one who's been working on this boat for like God knows how long now. And she's basically like, we need the boat, you're like, you guys are gonna need the boat to go to Santa Barbara, so like, no, you stay here, and you have a pregnant like girlfriend
that you're avoiding,
you stupid asshole. And he's basically like, oh, okay. And Mel in that moment probably is a little like, oh, I hope in that moment Mel was like, huh, maybe Owen's the shithead, not Abby, like.
But thankfully you leave him behind. And we all know what happens later. But you need a boat. So you head to the marina.
Yeah.
And you hear some gunfighting.
Big gunfighting.
Big gunfighting. You like hop out of some bushes and you hop behind a car as like people are shooting and stuff.
And then you get like grabbed, kind of, or like, you know, like they're like
yeah, like, and it's like, I don't know how Abby didn't see this person, but like there's Manny, and Manny has returned, our prodigal son,
our boy,
our happy boy. He's just like, we're getting shot at by a sniper, and we need to like, and this
it's begins. So random that he's not just like, hey, why the hell are you here? Like, or he kind of is, but he's just like, well, okay, whatever. Like,
he's like, oh, cool, you're in the fight, like,
yeah.
But this moment starts probably the best run of like cool badass
Mhm.
moments. Like this is where like things start being badass and just like
It
don't
doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Yeah.
until the end of this day. Like
Yeah.
it's like nonstop action,
It's
crazy
true.
fun
That
stuff.
is true. I didn't think about that, but it really, I mean, it's kind of it's weird. It's like a bookend of like day one, Seattle with Ellie was like that, where it was like go, go, go for like so long. And on the
Hmm.
flip side, you have this where it's go, 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 like to kind of like end the Seattle journey.
The
Um,
sniper scene, I will say, is beautiful. It's like the look of it, gorgeous. Like the like the sun glare, which is like the reason why you can't like they can't see
see
like
him.
Tommy
Yeah.
at all. Like great, like
The like
very
the way that the road is, like you can dive under cars. Like there was a part where I like actually like swam in like 2 feet of water. I don't know if you did
yes,
that.
I did
Some
too.
people
Yeah.
didn't do that, and I was like, I did that. Like he can't see you, so
Did
um
you die at all in that mission?
oh yeah. Not
Okay.
from him, I don't think, but from the clickers and stuff in the garage.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That part that part was like wild too because like
You can
he
sniped at as like well, and that's such a fun callback to his flashback with Ellie, where he's like pinging the thing to like draw them out. He's like, oh, like hit the signs or like the metal, and it'll like draw them out. And
yeah,
so he's doing that again here, and Abby and Manny's like, what is he doing? And Abby's like, he's drawing out the like the infected, and it was like, what a cool little
edgy.
detail, like.
Some things never change. Um, and so you fight your way through this parking garage. You just mow through some. I mean, like at least I did. I just like fucking pulled out my machine gun and I just mowed through these
you
clickers as
you
I was like
have
hiding behind a
the
car.
flamethrower at that point, so you're just like going through it.
You chase home,
The-
and you're just chasing this like
and you
unnamed.
don't know who it is,
You
yeah,
don't know
like
it's Manny yet.
Tommy.
Sorry, you don't know it's Tommy.
Yeah,
Um, but you do
you do,
if you're
you do.
smart. And eventually, like you chase him through this house for a while. And it's very very cool. It's
Is it
very
like it's like
village.
a
It's like a restaurant.
well,
Like
I thought it was like an airport. Like it kind of has like airport vibes, but I guess it's like a harbor because
yeah, like it's
there's
I think it was a Marina Restaurant kind of area because you're like you. I remember there being tables and like
so there's tables in that part where you're doing like the sneaking part, but like before when you're like going to like open the big garage door thing, there's like lots of seats that remind me of like airport
no,
seats.
yeah, I definitely now
And
that
so
you're
like I
saying
don't
that, I
yeah, I'm
remember
like,
that.
what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, huh.
And then I'm just like, have I never been to like a marina harbor before?
Oh, no,
Maybe.
isn't it because in Seattle there's a ferry boat? So it must have been like the
Yes.
ferry boat harbor. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
Very true. And so you're chasing this homeboy for a while, and then you get to like a door, and you get to the door, and you're like, let's go through it, and he's like right there shooting, and you're like, we can't go through that door. Let's try over here.
Out
And
loud too. Like,
the
no,
the,
Abby, we cannot go that way.
the
Like very
second they say
loud.
that, I'm just like, Manny dies. Like Manny dies right here because they're like, come on, let's go over here. And then you go to this garage door, and you're like, ooh, ooh, and like you get the garage door open, and Manny's just like, good job, and like his face explodes,
Ugh.
and you just kill my two favorite boys, like in the game, like Jesse and now Manny, like the
It
two
was
hotties.
that one was brutal.
That
That
was
one was like
brutal.
shocking because then you're like,
Yeah,
we're not done. So you go into the restaurant, and then this fight is reflective of kind of the David fight from the first game, where it's like you're sneaking, but you don't actually do any fighting. You actually just had to like get to the other side of the bar, but they
you just
didn't
have to
really.
like get to him. Yeah,
Yeah, you get to him, you fight him. It's Tommy. Surprise! You're
and they
covered
have
in Manny's blood.
Yeah. And they have a look of like Abby and Tommy look at each other and they're both like, oh, fuck. Like, because this is the moment that Abby realizes, like, this is the moment that Abby realizes that they've been tracking her. Like, they're
Right.
after her.
And this is the
Um,
moment when Tommy's like, "This is the bitch I've been looking for." So
yeah.
like,
And then Abby just fucking like, or Tommy just like, I don't know who, but like
they are
Tommy,
like fighting on the banister of
yeah.
like the edge of the restaurant, and then like Tommy like falls in.
Tommy just falls in the water, and Abby's just like, "Well, there he goes." And I'm like, "Girl, you have an assault rifle on you, right?
Like
Like
start
start
blasting.
blasting,
Yeah.
like start blasting the water." But nope, let Tommy go.
I mean, they were
Um,
like kind of like punching and stabbing, I kind of think. So like it might
yes,
be a safe assumption that like, cool, he's gonna like drown in the water.
no, fuck
I
that.
don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know. I would have definitely covered but then there's like the urgency to like go to Lev, and there's
I mean,
also
that's true
like
too.
Manny
Like,
just died, so like there's like a lot of layers to that. And so
yeah,
then Yara comes up, right? Or they don't. I think they just cut to like them getting a boat. I don't remember.
yeah. I don't remember how they like. I don't remember that point because I just remember them being on the boat. Next,
They might just cut to them being on the boat and like pulling
yeah,
up to the thing. So now we're at Stair Fight Island, y'all. This is the moment we've been like waiting for because we're like, who are
fools. Like, who
these
are these
fools? We
people?
don't
Like,
know them. We don't like who.
and
We only know so much.
this was like a definitely like fun moment of, and I remember fucking up like because there are like little sections of like get through this little stair fight, and then like Yara's like, okay, we can take a shortcut through here, and I was like, okay, there's like 9 more people here, and you like deal with that. I fucked up every single one. I blew every cover, I blew every stealth.
I was really bad at this,
I don't know
and
if I
I
was just
was
like
out
really
of
amped
it.
up, like
Yeah, I was out of everything too. So like, I don't. I think they kind of made it like that to it like hard to like sell through completely because I don't know. Like there was like you would go after someone and there's like 3 other people like having the right angle to see you. So like
mhm.
um but yeah, I was on hard mode. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. It was a lot.
Yeah. And so you kind of just make your way through that for a while, but then eventually,
Well, and you're learning about who the Seraphites are, because like we at this point we had kind of guessed like okay, they use like bow and arrows more often. Like okay, they're like kind of religious and they're like really old school. They don't like technology and stuff like that. Like I had no idea it was gonna be like we're in like Amish land. Like I had no idea it was gonna be like
and like I've tried to like look into like and like is it because they believe that like it is because of man's constant like need to like advance? It's like what I was gathering was just like they think like the whole reason why like the apocalypse happened to begin with is because of man and because of our constant like need to push forward and create and destroy and create and destroy and
yeah. I
create and
think they
destroy.
kind of think that like God. I don't know if it's like they believe the God or I don't know like who their like
Yeah,
higher being is, but they think that like it's like the sins of like technology and the sins of people like
advancement and like
homophobe like
yeah.
homosexuality trans
Hmm.
like being transgender like those are like
Everything's
sins.
bad.
Everything's
Everything's bad.
bad and that's what caused the infection. So like they're like
Like
people in the 1800s they didn't have any problem, so
yeah.
let's just go back to then. um but yeah, that's my takeaway from it. But I was just like not expecting it to be like
So
we
fleshed
have
out.
buildings, we
Yeah.
have like
It
town
was like
halls, like we like these are, I mean, like compared to how everyone else is living in like tents and stuff like that, like it's like, yeah, why haven't you guys been like building shit? Like why
mhm.
haven't you been like you can
And
make
like my thing is
cement?
that like
Like
I mean, they talked a lot about like the truce and stuff, but it's just like y'all got exactly what y'all want. I mean, like what they didn't have was supplies. Like that's why they kept going to the mainland is for shit. Like
supply.
because like
Well, but they did have like, I mean, like they eventually had like they have all that corn, they have like plants they were growing,
but I
they
think
were
there are. It was very. They make comments about it all the time. Like Abby does. It's just like, oh, so like y'all are against modern technology, but like guns are chill. Like y'all will use guns. Like they you see little glimpses of like quote
right.
unquote
You
hypocrisy.
can't
But
make
yeah, like
bullets and
they
stuff.
needed Tylenol probably, and they needed like fucking Neosporin, and they like rubbing alcohol. Like they can't make these things, like, and so they have to go onto the mainland to like get these things, and like I don't know, just like shoot at the wolves. The wolves shoot back. Like
Yeah, it's like a weird truce thing of like, yeah, why did y'all really cross those boundaries? Because like you probably could be pretty self-sufficient on that island. Like even though like yeah, you do need some supplies, but like you
unless they
could
fully
make it work. Like
unless they fully believe that they're like, cool, we're the chosen one, it's our job now to go out and what, kill everybody on earth.
right.
Like unless they were like truly like a malicious sort of organization, which like I don't know,
You know,
man.
they kind of were, I think.
Kind of were kind of spooky.
um,
But one of my favorite moments is when Abby realizes like, oh fuck, Storm's here. Isaac is here, and
You
like
turn that corner and you like see
you
all the
see all
boats
the boats.
coming.
I just sat there and watched the boats. Like I didn't keep going. I watched them until they hit the shore because thinking like I was like, I wanted to capture every fucking second of that because it was like terrifying to watch that
Yeah.
happen. Like just being like, oh fuck, like
This
the war is happening right now.
this whole part was just
A
wild.
lot, yeah,
Just
a
wild.
lot.
So you, God, I can't remember the order of things. Okay, so you're cutting through like this side of the island because we're trying to get to Haven, which is like the main, which is the other thing. Is like I didn't know there was like a main city over here and then like suburbs. Like I thought it
Yeah,
was gonna be like
just
there's like
like
there's thousands of people on this little island. Like I had no
definitely, and
idea.
like you think that like it's just like little townships, but I mean, granted, you never really get to see what the like Haven really looks like because by the time you really see it, it's up in fucking flames.
It's spring.
Uh,
But that
but
thing, I mean, that was a big. That's a big city though that
that
they
was
had,
a
or like a
bit,
little
yeah, that was
town.
a
Yeah.
lot of ground to cover. But eventually you just fight, you know, the same bullshit, and then you get to like Yara's just like, we're here.
Yeah.
At our house. And we're like, cool. And you walk in and this is probably the most like traumatic, like there's a lot of like traumatizing things, but like this is definitely like seeing a dead woman on the floor who you're immediately like, oh, that's mom. And
Yeah.
then you turn around and see Lev like kneeling, cowering in the corner, covered in the blood of his own mother, like, and you're just like, oh, like,
That was a
oh,
lot. That was
like so heavy. It's
it was hard to just like get back up and be like, all right, well, there's a war happening now on the island. So
and especially knowing that like the second you go to Lev is like immediately just like I didn't mean to. I didn't like knowing the fact that like Lev, like what probably happened was Lev walked in and was like, "Mom, I'm back. Like it's me, your child. Are you happy to see me?" And she was just like, "I gotta kill you." And like and he's just like, "Okay." And then like, oh, it's just such a rough moment.
very devastating.
I shot an arrow at her. Like they walked out of the room and I was just like, you jerk, like that's your
Yeah.
child. I fucking shot an arrow at her. You fucking
I mean,
bitch.
that's the thing is like it's very traumatizing for like Lev, but also you're just like you kind of figured this was gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? Like you're also like happy that the bigoted mother's dead on some
In a
level, I
weird
guess.
way,
Like
yeah, but like also like Lev has to just like live with this trauma. But Lord
it
knows
this
this ain't the only trauma that Lev's gonna experience.
well, so this was when I was playing with one of my friends, we noticed this a lot. Or like it's like a weird thing of like if Lev had just listened to Yara, then like we would
Mhm.
never see Stair Fight Island.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't be here at all.
Which is like I don't know, it's kind of like a weird thing of like they really wanted us to see Stair Fight Island and it's like I don't know, this was my first playthrough, I was like, oh I love it, like whatever, no problem, like with being here, but like my second playthrough it definitely felt like a little like hey we wanted to make sure we put this in here, there's a very like this is the one reason like you're here but now you're here and all this stuff is going to happen and it looks beautiful and it's stunning and like but it also kind of felt like very like taped on kind of thing of like they probably had it so many other ways in the story and like this is just how it settled out like
It's
when
I
the
mean like the whole point of being on Seraphite Island is just for the it's like on like what they were trying to accomplish like in this on this island was that when you're riding on the horse through the fire
yes
city and they're like cool how do we even get Abby there
let's go
that doesn't
backwards yeah
that doesn't make any sense for Abby to get there and in a way it's almost just like well we can get her there but it's going to be at the expense of Lev like we're going
right
to have to take this character and fuck them up but
yeah
that's the only way that this is going to work. And I don't necessarily like they
because I'm trying to think like
probably
what
could
other reason could they have gotten there? I mean, the only other way would be like if Abby was part of the assault with the wolves. Like that's the only other way really. Like she could have gone onto that island and then
yeah
you're a bad person, so like that's not good.
yeah
I don't know.
definitely I mean
It's definitely like a weird like they taped it on with this like one reason of like, but if Lev had just listened, but that's the thing, it's like, but Lev didn't listen because he's naive and young and still wants these things. I mean, it reminds you of like when Ellie runs away from Tommy's place in the first game because she's scared she's naive. She's,
Hmm.
like, how
Hmm.
dangerous is that to like run away? But she didn't think about the dangers of it.
Exactly.
She just was like she's just an angsty kid, like
Because I
she
mean,
just,
when you think about it, like Lev running away is the reason why Yara dies. And
yeah,
technically, it's the reason why Owen and like Mel died because Abby wasn't there, and
yeah.
theoretically, theoretically, Ellie would have shown up if Lev was just like, you know what, you're right, I shouldn't go back, and they were all just there. Ellie would have busted in,
It
and
would
it would
have
have
gone
been
well
one
for
on
Ellie.
six, and Ellie would have just gotten like her brains blown out, and like the game would have ended. So like whatever, you can't change anything.
No,
Um,
yeah. But
but
it is an interesting, like, I don't know,
one
like,
choice, like
well,
one
yeah,
choice.
it's one choice, but it's also like there's so many like one choices throughout the game. But like I think it is like we forget that, like, well, why didn't Lev just listen? It's like, well, because he's a young person who's scared, who wants his mom, like, who, that's like a natural thing for any child to want their mom and not understand that their mom might not love them back. Like,
Hmm.
that's so scary.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know.
Definitely.
So it is like it's trauma, like it was at the expense of Lev, but it's also like it does show a lot of like who Lev is, because like up until this point we're like, oh, Lev's like a strong boy, just like making it through life. Like, look, he's
He's
fearless. He can go
he's
up
the
these like
rogue. Like
he's a
he's the
like
rogue. He has a
he
little short bow and
got
sneak
a
attack.
bow. He can climb up like skyscrapers, no problem, go across these bridges, no vertigo, like not an issue in the world. Like, but it's
Like, but
like,
he's a child.
but he's a
He's
child. Like
yeah,
a child lives fearlessly until
yeah.
they experience fear.
Like
Like I
yeah.
don't, yeah. Um, so yeah, you leave then, and then suddenly like you turn a corner and you're in like Seattle again. Like I don't know, you're back in
It's
like
like in a
not,
weird. It's like a weird pair of buildings, and
they're
like
just buildings again. And you're like, okay,
and
cool.
it's like raining now, so it's like kind of swampy.
And I don't
Um,
know like how Seattle's laid out like modern day, because that's, I'm sure this is like somewhat reflective of that, of like there's probably like a
is this a real
forest.
island?
Yeah, Seattle's on like a, let me look it up. Seattle, like Seattle, because I'm pretty sure it's a real island of some sort.
Your boy's zooming out, and
Well, there's a lot of islands in Seattle apparently. Okay, or in that area, because isn't
oh, you're right.
because they're on the
Holy
space.
shit!
I can
Is
send the
that
map.
what fucking Washington has always looked like? What the fuck, Washington?
Because I have no idea. I mean, you start in like, because isn't the Space Needle shown at some point?
Yeah,
I mean,
I am very
it's
curious.
also been 30 years since like modern day. So like I'm, water levels are supposed to be rising on the West Coast, including Washington. So like,
Well, my thing is that like it when you get to the when you're at the pier,
yeah,
you just see the Pacific Ocean. Like I don't know,
yes,
like that's why it's like I'm not so sure
the geography of this, but
because theoretically, if they are in Seattle,
I mean, what
that
I'm
means
seeing is
Stair Fight Island is Bainbridge Island.
right. That's what my guess would be. Which you can theoretically like, because you saw some island,
No, you saw the island, you saw Stair Fight
yeah,
Island, but
but
then it
then a
was
lot
just
of
like
Pacific,
ocean. Like it was like,
yeah,
no, but I was like, no, there's land around there. But
yeah, because there's the aquarium. So you go to the aquarium, yeah.
you can check this whole thing on Google Maps. Thanks,
Thanks,
Apple.
Google.
Google.
Because I do wonder too, with like water levels rising, if that would affect like the size of these islands and
Hmm.
stuff. And like, I don't know if they took that into effect or if they were
Yeah,
just like whatever. But yeah, Seattle's, y'all got a lot of
all
water up
jacked up.
there.
Yeah, y'all are jacked up in Washington. What's wrong with y'all? I just thought y'all were just a regular old town. Um, but I don't know how
So
like
I don't. Well, the whole point of looking at that was because I wanted to see if there's like a forest on that island or something. Yeah, there's like some, because I was wondering if there's like forests that were there, and then like a town, or like, like here's your gas
hmm.
station and stuff
Hmm.
like that, and your Taco Bell and whatever. And then there's like forest on either side, and they took the forest parts and like left the like developed
City
areas.
parts to
Yeah,
rot. Yeah.
which probably on some level they did that. So yeah, now you're cutting through city part, and you like turn a corner or something like that, and suddenly there's like a shit ton of wolves just there. There's like 5 wolves, and they're like, "Oh, Abby, what are you doing here?" And she's just like, leave me alone. It's fine, like whatever. And they're just like, "Okay, well, like kill the scars that are next to you, like whatever," which is showing like so much lack of like, these are kids, like what? So Lev's like behind Abby, Yara's like to one side, and like Isaac comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's
He
just
like steps forward.
yeah, you're like, where did he come? Why was he here in the middle of this part of whatever? But Isaac shows up and he's like, Abby, like let's kill these Scar kids. Like, what are you talking about? And I don't remember really like why Yara was like, I guess it might have just been like positioning of like when they had like come out of the building or something like that.
Yeah.
But Yara's like in front of Abby and gets shot.
Does Yara like take the bullet for Abby? Like, does Yara? I don't remember.
I don't remember now.
She gets popped.
She
gets shot once. She falls on the floor. And
I did not understand the scene at all the first time. I was like, what just happened? Because it was so much like, this person got shot, then you cut, then it's Isaac and Abby, like close shots, and then Isaac gets shot. And I was like, who just did that? I thought it was Yara. Abby, but it's Yara from like the ground, who you just saw her like crumple. So like, I did not assume that she was like.
Yeah, definitely. But I think my personal most traumatizing moment is when Yara shoots Isaac. Isaac's dead. And then the rest of the wolves just point blank unload. Like, you don't see Yara
unload,
but you just see them unloading into a child's body on the floor. And
that was a lot.
That was literally probably like, that was the closest I've been to being like, I don't know how far I could go in this game. Like, that was really difficult. Like,
that one was
the most difficult moment for me, probably.
I agree with that, because that one was definitely just like, there's so many layers of like, I don't know, like that's something that like, that doesn't happen on TV. That doesn't happen in movies. Like, we don't see 5 people unload into like one child's body.
Something that can only happen in video games. Like
that can only happen,
or like happen in video game comics or something. Like,
or like in war. Like, that's the only other place I can imagine it happening.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know about war. Like, I'm not in Afghanistan. Like, I don't know if this is happening or not happening or whatever. And that's what like where it's like really shocking, where it's like, we're used to, like, is this normal? Like, is this a normal thing that happens in war?
I mean, just like this is the enemy, so we gotta fucking unload our clips point blank into a child on the ground.
Well, and so like it was like that like realization of like, their humanity is so gone. Like their love for Isaac is so much stronger than their realization of like, this is a child
who's already gonna die. Like,
you already shot her.
Yeah,
you're already outnumbering this.
It was like, I would have been understandable if like one wolf was like, no, Isaac, like pop, just
but
like
it was immediately pop. Like, that person's not dead yet,
and it was like, just like, oh, holy shit, like mega overkill.
It was so jarring that like, that's why I didn't understand. I thought the first time I watched it, I thought one of the wolves had shot Isaac, and that they were then unloading it into one of the wolves, because that, to me, that was like, that makes more like, that's less traumatizing on some level. But it was like, no, they went to the extreme, and so that was jarring. So now Lev just saw his sister die after killing his mom, or seeing his mom die. He didn't like fully kill his mom, like his mom like hit the table or whatever, but
yeah, he like pushes whatever. Either way,
Lev is ruined. Lev is not well. But then this has to be like, you just have this terrible moment, and then you go into some of there's like a combat, you have to like get through like a terrible building where they're like, oh, Abby's here, like.
No, I would have paused this combat really quick.
Yeah.
Yes, and this combat was the funniest combat to me, because I actually stealth killed everybody. Like, I was like popping up stealth kill, but just being like I would kill somebody. You can't
see me in the 2 feet of water.
I would kill somebody and like swim away and like wait for a second and just hear like, Billy!
Yes, and then you could kill like another one and they'd come over
like,
there.
Samantha! Like they would just like scream. You would just hear a name be screamed out from across the room of like, they got Jess. And I did that until the final
Oh
person.
my
And
god.
then and I was just like, dog, all your friends are dead.
There's
And
like
you're
5
still like,
bodies floating right
they're
there.
still like, where you at? I'm just like, dog, run away.
Run
But
away.
no, I got him. I got him.
No, I tried to do that too. On hard, it was definitely hard just because like I didn't see like where they were at first, and so I was like, I literally like ran into their feet, and then they're like, "Is that Abby?" And I was like, "Nope, it's not Abby." Like as I'm like swimming, but that was it was like a really like weird combat because it's just different terrain, and that's what I do really appreciate is that like I feel like every single fight brought like a different terrain,
Just a different
like
element.
it was not all the same like you're stealthing cover combat, yeah, like it was like, hey, do you want to swim underwater in like the mall with when Ellie goes to get the boat before going to like the arcade and all that stuff. It's like now you're in an arcade and like now you're in 2 feet of water and like now you're in like a burning city and like now you're like it was everything was always different, and I do really appreciate that like the terrain was never. And I think that's why like I've been able to replay it so much already. Like I'm on my 3rd playthrough right now, and it's just because like the combat was able to like stay so fresh constantly because they didn't reuse all, like assets, and like that is such a like big ups to Naughty Dog for deciding to be like
about my
for
time.
carrying like for being like we're gonna spend time and money on this, and like I don't really care if that gets us in trouble with Sony or whoever, but like we're gonna spend so much more time and money on this because we don't want y'all to feel like it's repetitive and stuff like that.
Definitely. And I don't remember. So they get on a horse. I don't remember why they have to like get to the edge of the city. It's just because like
that's
Lev
where the
is
boats
like
are.
loves, but like where were their boats that they got? They were like, we gotta get a boat.
Well, assumably, I think they think like the wolves are now like behind them. I guess as they're like,
So they can't go back. They have to
like,
go forward. Like
right, or like that they're gonna. Well, they also just like the Stair Fights. Like, where are they going? So like, I think they're just like, if we just like keep moving, then we're good. But yeah, so you get through that building, and then you like jump over like a couple walls, and then this was like one of the cool. Like, this is a really cool scene before you get to like the next cool scene. But you're like under that highway, and there's like a giant field before you get to like the Taco Bell or whatever, and like you turn a corner and you're like, oh, we're in a war zone right now. Like they are shooting at each other. Like yeah, because you're on the Stair Fight side, but like the wolves are on the other side, and you're just kind of like, well, goodness, we just turned a corner and we're in like an active war zone right now. And so you like duck into the tall grass.
You don't need to hit anybody.
No,
like,
you don't.
I did. I would just like walk up and like, I can get you. I'd like get this person real quick and then like just keep moving.
No, I kept going until there was like obviously like these people are like patrolling, like these are people I'm supposed to kind of fight, but in the like active area, I was like, no, I don't know, like this feeling of like, no, I kind of want to like see what is it like to try and like run through this, like what is it like to be witnessing this but not be part of it at all. Like
it's like that scene. I haven't seen the movie, but like everybody's like seen that scene on Twitter of that movie like 1917 where like that guy is like running down while they're running perpendicular kind of a thing. Like it really felt like, holy shit, like I shouldn't be here and I just need to get through here.
Exactly.
Like,
so you can
something funny that happened to me was like, so you get past that little war zone area and then you get to the patrolling area and like all you have to do is get to the horses and like I think a cutscene happens. They're like something you get to the horses and you can just start going. I think that's what happens.
I think you just go and then there's still more people, but you can like.
I had like perfectly snuck through everything. Like I was not noticed, and I literally got to the horse and I hear Abby and like boom 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 boom, and that's when I like take off running. I was like, son of a bitch.
I think I kind of did. I've done that one a couple different ways, just because like you can kill everybody, or you could just kill enough to just like sneak through the windows and like get to the horse, which is kind of like more fun because it's like no, you guys have your own situation. Like don't worry about it. So you get on the horse, and then like at this point, you've kind of seen like bits and pieces of like Haven in the distance, like on fire, but you're not really sure like what's going on. And then you like cut through the woods a little bit more. and then you're like, oh, Haven's on fire.
Yeah.
Like it's not
burning
like
the fucking ground. It is
burning to the ground.
Yeah.
So you get over there, and then you have to, the horse gets shot or something. Like I don't know, you have to like ditch the horse, but I don't really know why.
But yeah, like, and just we've kind of already mentioned it, but just like, this is the most cinematic, like
Absolutely.
you riding on a horse through a burning city at night while people are shooting guns all around you is like,
I have to believe that, and I don't, who knows what the order of like production was or whatnot, but like I have to believe they played Red Dead Redemption and they're like, I like this scene and I want to do it better.
Yes.
In Red Dead 2, where they burned down the plantation.
Yes.
Because that was my all-time favorite cinematic moment in games.
Oh, definitely.
And now this one's topped it, because it was like, there's just something about fire in
fire
video
at
games.
nighttime and like chaos, like fire nighttime chaos, like great, like you recipe for perfect scene, like
perfect scene, like
perfect.
Just it's like so stunning, but yet with it being so stunning that it's like incredibly destructive and stuff, but yeah, you turn and you're like, oh, we're gonna run through this, like, oh boy. And like I was so stoked, because I was like, this is all I've like wanted in a game. Like I don't know, like these moments of like, I'm never gonna be on a horse running through, like I'm never gonna be doing a lot of this stuff in this game, but I'm definitely never gonna be on a horse running through a burning field, like or burning like city. And like, cool, I get to kind of like weirdly see what that would be like on some level.
Yeah, because then once you get off the horse, it's like you just like have like, it's just looking at everybody running around and being like, you're my enemy, like you're my enemy, like everyone's my enemy.
That was a weird fight, because it was kind of like, you don't have to do a lot, but you still have to do like enough.
You still have to get through it, but like most of the time people are fighting each other, and you can just like, you could probably just sneak your way through the whole thing.
Right, like, you can like pop a couple people and just like keep going. Then for some reason they're like, we have to cut through this burning barn, and you're like,
this barn's on fire, we have to cut through,
we have to get through it. And I was like, okay. You cut through, and then there's it
collapses
on you, which is, then my backpack's gone again.
And then of course that's all you lose is your beautiful, perfect backpack that I worked so hard.
She's not scarred at all. There's no burn marks on her.
That's her backpack. And then of course the
biggest
boy, just like fucking, and he has like a big dumb hammer or something.
A scythe, wasn't it a scythe?
I don't
know. No, you have a scythe. No, it is a hammer. I don't know. He's got a big weapon.
Whatever weapon it is, I was like, this is big and dumb. Like I was just like, why are you like, buddy, pick up a gun. Like everybody has guns right now, and you're just like, I never put down my hammer. And
I just don't know, like, and this guy, well, he's mad because he's like, this is the apostate. Like, doesn't he recognize that that's Lev?
He might, yeah.
I can't remember. Because my thing was just like, why is this guy like so fucking pissed? Like, why is he so determined to live to kill me, kind of thing?
Awful.
Because the fight goes on, and you straight, you stab him, like you cut his like jaw open, like
it never ends. It never fucking ends. Like it just like, you stab him in the throat, you like rip a part of his mouth off, like you get him in the eye, I think, and like
he's like I'm gonna kill you still, and you're like, buddy, Jesus,
it never ends.
So you kill, it does. You kill him, you get Lev, you get into the water, you find a boat, and you leave, and it's like,
it's very, very like, it was very sad. Like I felt very sad, because you're just like looking back, and like obviously like you feel bad for Lev, but it's also just like, this is just the dredges of humanity, right? Like I just witnessed humanity. Like once you think humanity can't get any fucking worse, like I just saw humanity at its literal lowest point.
Well, because you do think about the fact that like, there's no wars, like there's no American army going to invade Afghanistan.
There's just like small tribes fighting other small tribes, like,
and like that's,
it's like unnecessary, like all
it's
like
so
like,
unnecessary.
That's when we were on the boat watching an entire island go up in flames. I was just like, this is, and like I still don't know what this, and it wasn't like what was the point. It was like, no, this shit has happened. This shit has happened throughout history, throughout all of time. And
it's not a surprise that it didn't happen again. Like,
yeah, like fucking big group of people forms, another big group of people forms, they fucking burn each other's shit down, and it's like fucking pointless.
And
I
think that's what like we've probably talked about some in other episodes, but like there's been criticisms of like why would Naughty Dog choose to show these stories instead of like hoping that humanity, like, because whenever you have the option to create a story that happens in like the future, like why wouldn't you try to reflect like this is like America's better, like people aren't shitty, like look at what the future could be and stuff like that. But I think that's what's great about Naughty Dog is because
Mm.
they're like, no, like, because that's not realistic, and like we want it to feel like there's
But
obviously like some like fantastical kind of like unrealistic things, but also like this is probably exactly what would happen when
I'm
if
about to say something, and maybe you can correct me,
okay
because this might be a broad general thing on the sweeping
okay
thing. I don't think that there's one fucking American flag in this game.
huh
I don't think that there's an American flag
no,
in
there is an American flag
where.
at the bookstore. There's three flags: a gay pride flag, an American flag, and a trans flag.
There is? Okay,
Yeah,
interesting, interesting.
it's
Because I
definitely
didn't see
like
those flags.
it's definitely not like American Pride. Like, there's just not a
Because
lot of that anymore. But
even Fedra, which is like technically the American military, which they're gone, but like it was never like this is the American like United States of Fedra. This is just like
right,
the federal like what like it's just the feds like
yeah,
that's why like in response to the whole like well why doesn't like this future show like things being better and it's just like God, America's this isn't America anymore like there's no America
well,
like
it's also like, but isn't this what America's like kind of always been on some level? Like,
mhm. And but on top of that it's like isn't this just what every fucking society like every
right.
society ever has just been like a bunch of groups of people shitting on each other until we
Yes.
die like
Right. Yeah, I just
um
it would feel so unrealistic if they're just like everyone's like chill. Like there's just a couple bad people, but like
no
because I remember the person had qualms about like we'll get to them, but like the Rattlers, they had qualms with like really these two groups of people are gonna be like fighting over like land, like in a city, like that's and it's
like this is what
like
it comes
yeah.
down to
And like there's still bigots and there's still like transphobes and like these people still exist and there's probably racism rampant and like every bad thing that's happened in history probably still exists, and if not even more prevalent than it does like today
yeah
because there are no rules anymore. And it's
yeah
like if there's no rules, people will do what their heart wants, and there are sociopaths out there that want really bad things, like
I thought about this the other day. Like a thought just popped in my head when I was thinking about The Last of Us, but I was just like, this really is like the apocalypse version of a series of unfortunate events. Like, never gets any better, never gets
right,
any happier. There is no like every
I can
little
say that.
bit of joy is fleeting,
Yeah,
and but it's not like it's just and that's like the mindset that like and my response to people being like, it's just so fucking sad, and I'm just like what were you expecting? Like, yes, this is a complete series of horrible events like that you're about to witness. Like
but
this
also
is
like it doesn't, because like with series unfortunate it's just kind of like oh my god, like come on y'all, but like with this one I don't feel that because it feels like yeah, like that they're
this is
tapping
what
they're
this
tapping into like the human like self-destruction kind of thing,
yes
like Ellie leaving the farm and stuff, and we'll talk more about that, but it's like Ellie leaving the farm is like it's not something getting taken from her, she's doing it to herself, which is like the difference in like series of unfortunate events, like these bad things keep happening to these kids
to
because
these
of
children. Yeah,
to these kids, like the adults are the ones fucking up, but it's like Ellie does this to herself and blah blah blah. But yeah, so you leave the island, and what time are we at? I don't want to.
we're at 48 minutes.
Okay, maybe we'll do one more little bit here.
Yes.
You leave the island, burning. You head back. You're like, well, time to go back to aquarium. You know what's gonna be there.
You exactly like it's just
You know,
like
like the
fucking
exact scene that
horrific.
they're about to.
It's just traumatic moment after traumatic moment after trauma. Like
It's
ugh.
so. You're just like
Laura Bailey's performance of Abby walking in
incredible.
and like her falling to the floor and puking on the ground because she's like just complete shock. Like, ugh,
I mean,
so fucking
it's so
sad.
yeah. You get back to the aquarium. You go inside. Alice is dead. Like someone's been here. You're like, what the fuck? You go in. You see blood on like seeping out from under the door, and you see Owen and Mel dead. And the
And
map
it's like,
to the theater, but
well, and you see the map, and like why Abby sees the map, and it just like it further clicks in her mind of just like I
we've been
was
hunted. Like these people have been
like
hunting us.
yeah, like I literally ran into Tommy this afternoon. Like I ran into him this afternoon, and I fucking left to go save Lev, and of course fucking Mel and Owen, and like it's just like all hitting her at once. It's like this
Yeah.
fucking just detrimental. Like, and it ugh.
That one was like, I don't know, they did a really good job to make you feel bad for Abby. And if you still don't feel bad for Abby at the end of this game, then like you're a piece of shit.
You're
I'm sorry. Like you're
heartless. Like
you're a heartless person, because like
Abby, like
I don't care where she started out, where she got to at the end is a completely different person. She
literally Abby's only wrong choice she made, like bad evil choice, was fucking destroying Joel's face with a 9-iron. Like that was her only
well,
bad.
because that's the thing, is like they're not really mad that she's like a wolf. They're not really mad that she's like killed all these Stair Fights. Like they're not really mad that she was a Firefly. They're mad that she killed Joel. Like that's
It's
why
personal.
people
It's
like
directly fucking personal.
people don't like Abby because she did that, not any other reason. I've seen people like because of other reasons, but your main reason is because of Joel. Like that's, if she didn't do that, you would just kind of be like, oh, okay, well, like
if you don't look at like the like this is like the worst day of a human being's life is for Abby, and like especially just being in the care of Lev and being like this is the worst day in your life, like
because you start at the beginning of like Lev's disappeared and you're like, okay, that's not great. Mel's like, you're not coming to Santa Barbara with us. I fucking hate your guts. I think you're a liar and you're like tricking Owen.
Yeah.
Okay, then you get to the island, like the boy that you care about just had to go through this trauma twice now because his mom and sister dies. You have to go through the trauma of Yara dying. Then Isaac dies, who's been kind of probably like a father figure for you. Like regardless of like what your feelings are now, like there's still going to be that trauma of that happening. And then Yara saving you, and then like I don't like,
and then just witnessing complete utter death and destruction, and like fire and brimstone, like fucking.
And then you see the two closest people in your life, regardless of your feelings towards Mel.
The only two people you could have remotely considered your friends. One of them hated you. The other one, you kind of hated him. And that was all you had left. That was all you had left in Abby's friend world.
Yeah.
And Manny's dead. So like that was your actual roommate friend buddy.
He's dead. You don't really know what's going on with like Nora and stuff, but like you know that like Jordan's dead. Like those other people are dead. So it's like there was only a handful. Like your only thing now is like maybe Nora's alive, but chances are she's not.
But Abby knows like, well, I can't go looking for Nora because Nora's a wolf, and the wolves want me dead because I went AWOL. So like
her family's gone. Gone.
Abby had everything ripped away from her in this day, like in this fucking like just.
And that's what's wild is like what Abby took from Ellie was obviously like devastating, right? Like a huge.
Yes.
And we'll end here. We won't go in towards the theater. I think that's a good place to stop with this. But like, I like not to minimize what like Ellie lost, but like Ellie lost a father. Abby lost a father. It was even, you know what I mean? And then like Ellie comes in and just is like, nah, like I'm decimating like every single thing you love that you touch that makes you feel normal. Like in a world where there is no normal.
Yeah.
I'm ripping that rug out from under you.
And just the most fucked up chain of events that like Abby, you will never see coming. Like you will not see this coming.
Oh, I mean, there's no way that she thought that was going to happen.
Which this, like Abby's reaction and Abby being like, pretty much being like, I'm going directly to you and I'm going to kill you. Like.
Oh, it's like, I have nothing else to lose.
So like when Ellie does this because Joel dies, I can completely look at it and be like, bad, wrong decision. Mm-hmm. When Abby is like, all right, Lev, come on, it's like, and like Lev probably being like, yeah, I just killed my mom and watched my sister die and my whole hometown is burned to the ground. Like what
else do we have to live for?
Nothing,
like what else? Because it's
like
like, at
that's
least Ellie had Dina. Like, at least she had
oh
Jackson. Like,
yes,
at
she
least
had everything. They had
she had
everything.
everything. She just didn't have her
Everything.
dad, and that sucks. That does suck. But like,
Super sucks, but like get over it. Like you ruined Abby's life, and in turn you ruined Lev's life, and like it's
and then
like
and that, I think that is like the key point of like, it's not just a revenge tale. It's a domino effect.
yeah,
It's a butterfly effect of like,
yeah.
see, when one thing happens, like the
That's
ringlets
its
come out from
ripple. It's
it.
a ripple,
The
baby.
ripple effect, yeah.
Yes,
Like, of
yes,
I don't know, and like that's really good storytelling of like, we can sit back and be like, I can feel for Abby where a lot of people can't, but apparently, whatever.
yeah.
Um,
So this and as we end this, I thought the game was over here. I thought this was going to be the end of the game, and
yes,
I don't even know how these next episodes are going to go because, like, are we going to get through like the fight in the farm tomorrow? The fight in the farm, the like
I don't
Santa
know. I
Barbara,
don't know.
I don't like
This was so like laid out, perfect,
chunky,
chunky,
and we're
and
about to like exit the order. Like this is so
I don't
like
know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
yes,
But yeah, we'll
but
get to the theater. I think that's like a good one that might even just like, I don't know, maybe we can just unpack all of that in the farm. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next
yeah.
episode. But I definitely don't want to get into that because it's gonna be beefy.
Yeah. We thank you for holding out. Sorry we missed a couple weeks. It'd be like that sometimes. You know how it is. Sometimes you don't do your laundry a long time. We make mistakes.
Uh,
But you can follow us at player versus underscore on Instagram and Twitter.
we're on YouTube now. We'll be posting videos of the podcast. If you're watching now, thank you so much. But yeah, we're on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and now YouTube. If you want to just put us on, we're like a daytime talk show,
I know.
like.
I know. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Logan Burroughs for producing and helping
Logan.
out with our theme song.
You can follow us on Twitter. You said Twitter and
I already said
Instagram.
that.
They already said that.
What are yours?
My handle is at Schmaderr, SCHMADURRR, on Twitter and Instagram.
On Twitter, I'm at YouFoundAlex, no underscores or spaces, and Instagram at Via Lexington, VILLA Lexington. And you know what? It's not over, y'all. We still got a lot to unpack.
Woo! Thank you so much for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.